Now we are standing at the outcrop of the Salt Range Formation. So this rock unit is comprised of very soft lithology, which is marl, gypsum, and salt. And because of its soft lithology, it has offered a gliding horizon to this fault, which is called Salt Range Fault. So this is the frontal portion of the Salt Range thrust. The dominant lithology is marl, right? And there are two kind of marls, red marls and dull marl. And we have said that the change in color of lithology depends upon two factors. One is change in environment, to change in composition, right? So if the same material is deposited in different environment, for example, on a river floodplain, so it will be red color, but the same shell, if it is dumped into the shelf of the deep marine, so it will be green or dark or organic rich. But if the environment is the same, for example, you have a shelf setting, and you are bringing different composition, different material of different composition, so it will be giving different color. Since these are the large lagoonal or sabkha kind of settings, so that means the environment is the same. So this change in color because between these two marl is because of the change in composition. That is what we assume. We haven't done the geochemistry, but since the environment is almost the same, so definitely this change in color is maybe because of the change in composition. Why you have this marl? Marl is a 50% carbonate, 50% clay lithology. So it's a mixture between these two. These are huge basin, and below this Salt Range Formation, we have the metamorphic complex of the Indian plate, because that has been encountered. And these are the below you have the shield rock. So when this marine or transitional marine environment is established on the shelf setting, आपके जहन में शील्ड, अगर आपके पास शील्ड रॉक है, एक क्रेटॉन है या शील्ड रॉक्स हैं, उसके ऊपर मेरीन इन्वायरमेंट जो है वो कब इस्टेब्लिश होगी? या आपके पास ट्रांसग्रेशन हो या आपके पास रिफ्टिंग हो, ठीक है? रिफ्टिंग से यू आर क्रिएटिंग स्पेस, और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता you are moving down to the sea level, and then the water enter into the rift setting. We assume that was a rift setting because you have this cavorite, which Dr. Sajjad already explained, and that cavorite there's one paper by Qasim Jan, which is alkali-rich pyroxene, sodium or potassium-rich pyroxene, and these alkalis-rich lithologies are usually associated with the rift setting. So we assume that you have these rift setting, and these rift setting were not only restricted to this portion, these were also restricted to Oman and Iran and Hormuz basin. So these evaporites, Precambrian evaporites, are present in Iran. These are present below the Persian Gulf. These are present in Oman, in some part of Saudi Arabia, in Pakistan. So these were disconnected rift kind of basins which are regionally extensive. Then you have these three members, marl and gypsum, and the salt member. This marl is, you have the influx of clay. The influx of clay can be because of the two reasons. Number first, it was fed to the basin, to these lagoons by rivers, but in that case these were hugely meander rivers, and the area which was surrounding these lagoonal setting was deadly plain. Why we say that? Because if there was a relief between this basin and the area from which the sediment was shed, then there would have been very coarser material. ठीक है? रिलीफ के साथ आपके पास इस बेसन में के पास सैंडस्टोन होना चाहिए था, कांग्लोमेरेट होना चाहिए था, but that's not there. So इसका मतलब है इसका जो एरिया है सराउंडिंग एरिया, that was a deadly plain, और आपके पास hugely meander, और उसमें आपके पास ज़्यादा suspended load था, and that was fed to the basin periodically, intermittently, if not periodically. Or these clays were recharged by continental dusting. It means that you have an arid setting on the surrounding area, a desert kind of setting, and this wind was dusting this clay material into the basin, yes, and it can selectively transport very fine grained material. When you have this cut-off basin, so usually first when you start evaporating the water, so first lithology which is going to form will be calcite, then dolomite, then gypsum, and finally when 90% of the water is evaporated, you will have halite, right? So there are some areas in which you have this pseudo-cyclicity. You have dolomite, you have gypsum, and then you have salt. But the complete cycle is not there, because then again the marls start coming to the basin, और वो आपके पास जो cyclicity है evaporite की, वो फिर आपके पास disturb हो जाती है. Apart from that, you have oil shale. Oil shale is that shale which is matured enough when you heat it in the lab, or when you heat it in the industry, ठीक है, it starts giving rise to the oil, right? तो आपके पास कैरोजन इस स्टेज पे पहुंच जाए, थोड़ा सा आप हीट करते तो उससे ऑयल निकलता है, ठीक है. और आपके पास ऑर्गेनिक रिच मटेरियल जो हैं, या तो आपके पास रिड्यूसिंग एनवायरनमेंट, ठीक है, उसमें आपके पास वेल प्रिजर्व्ड होती है, ठीक है, और ये आपके पास जो सिल्ड बेसन हो, क्योंकि आपके पास अगर ऑक्सीजन नहीं है तो फिर भी माइक्रोब्स नहीं होंगे, अगर आपके पास सेलिनिटी ज़्यादा है तो फिर भी माइक्रोब नहीं है. तो यहाँ पे आपके पास अगर ये आपके पास डीप लेगून्स थे, तो इसमें आपके पास ऑक्सीजन भी एज सच नहीं थी, ठीक है, और आपके पास इट वाज अ सील्ड बेसन, देयर वाज evaporator setting, the water is very saline and it was hard for the microbe to survive over there. So that's why you have this preservation of the oil shale. So that was all about the, इसको एटाकेरान भी कहते हैं, Eo-Cambrian भी इसको कहते हैं, because it is a boundary between pre-Cambrian and Cambrian. So you have these huge rift isolated basin extended to the Persian Gulf, Oman, Iran, and Pakistan, and for the first time along these rift setting, the ocean water entered, and then you have the supply of the shale by either continental dusting or by these huge meanders, and then you have evaporative subha kind of setting, and you have the deposition of dolomite, gypsum, and salt as well. Okay. So from here, the marine signatures or transitional marine signature starts, and when we go further, so the sea level will rise further. So Sajjad Sahab will further.
Okay.